I've been very, very lucky to be a part of what is now 2 TV series that actually have social impact.
I've noticed you're pretending to masturbate, and I was wondering if you wanted to talk about it.
Gillian Anderson stars in the Netflix original Sex Education Series 2, or Season 2 over here, that comes out in 2020. She's here with me in the studio. Welcome.
Thank you.
Jean Milburn, who you play on this show, she's an interesting character.
She
is. I feel like she's influenced your Twitter feed a little bit.
Most definitely,
Yeah.
she's influenced my Twitter feed. Yeah. I do yoni and penis of the day photos, or at least people send me pictures from nature.
Okay, from
Yeah.
nature. Okay,
It's
I was
just-
gonna say they
it's
just send you
from-
pictures.
They send me natural pictures of penises and yonis.
Intercourse can be wonderful, but it can also cause tremendous pain. And if you're not careful, sex can destroy lives.
What's your favorite part about playing this character?
I play quite serious characters, and to play somebody who has a wacky element to the personality and also struggles a little bit, even though she's a therapist, she struggles a little bit with appropriateness. And there's something really fun about getting to do that.
If you're going to do drugs tonight, remember to buddy up, Mom, and look after one another.
What I also appreciate about this character, and just about the direction that movies and shows are going, is this embracing of female sexuality and not treating it as taboo. What do you think a character like Jean adds to that conversation?
I mean, she actually takes it to another level, Jean does. She talks about things at moments where even the audience, I think, cringes. But, you know, I've always been incredibly open about sex and my sexuality and feelings and talking about stuff. And so it's been quite fun to release that part of me to just talk about anything, because it's so nice to be able to give that freedom to people, to feel like by doing it, in a sense, it's opening up a conversation that shouldn't have shame attached to it, really.
It is perfectly normal for a younger man to be sexually attracted to a mature woman.
In fact, when you stigmatize his choice, then you feed into an unhealthy narrative on masculinity in middle age.
When we did the press for the first season last year, there were Polish journalists sitting in front of us saying, "You don't understand, you are sex education for us in Poland because it doesn't exist."
Wow.
Which is, you know, on the one hand, quite a responsibility, but on the other hand, that's so
They
much
clarify-
information there.
Yeah,
I mean,
did
no,
they
they don't have it.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid to believe.
I was blessed to be a part of a series for almost a decade that did a similar thing. It was an iconic show, and the characters that David Duchovny and I played were men and women that we hadn't actually really seen before on television. And certainly how the show was shot and the topics that we addressed, you know, it was very, very different, and it set the stage for a type of television that didn't exist beforehand, and that exists now more than ever because of it. I've been very, very lucky to be a part of what is now 2, you know, TV series that actually have social impact.
Older, that man does things to people that no one should ever have to think about. It's not a question of if I should stay. I don't have a choice.
To be specific about it, it's what's called the Scully Effect.
Yeah.
Where I think it was the Gina Davis's Institute of Gender and Media did a study about young women who had grown
Yeah.
up watching the show.
Well, the
And-
Scully Effect pre-existed that show. Yeah, they were just drawing attention to it in her series.
But that
which was-
but Scully inspired them. It was like, I think it was like
Yeah.
something like 63% of the young women they surveyed said that they saw you portraying her and decided to go into STEM.
And certainly I wouldn't have guessed that going into, I mean, that's not, you know, I took the job because I needed a job and was on my last paycheck, you know, and you know, obviously the script was wonderful, and she was a fantastic character, but in no way did I foresee or even imagine that she or it, the series as a whole, would have the kind of impact that it did, or that she specifically would have the kind of impact that she had on so many women and continues to have.
So what's the Jean effect? What's going to be the Jean effect, do you think?
She's brave and she's forthright and she's honest. And so I think the Jean effect would essentially be, embracing those elements in oneself.
So, why don't you start by telling me your earliest memory of your scrotum?
We have heard that you are playing Margaret Thatcher in The Crown, season 4. When you're portraying someone who is a historical figure, how is that process complicated, or is it more complicated?
I guess it's more complicated because so many people have so many opinions about who she was, what she stood for. It's taking all that into account and just, hoping that how she's being portrayed in the script and through the series is as complex a view of her as she was a woman herself.